Tonight on Nebraska Nightly.
There's a historic gathering of 3 U.S. presidents.
A Nebraska state senator could face punishment for remarks made on the House floor last week.
And the governor's quest for property tax relief continues.
This is Nebraska Nightly.
Live from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Mackenzie Noble.
And I'm Madeline Fox. Our top story tonight. A debate over property tax relief started in the Nebraska legislature, with Governor Pillen and his supporters behind the idea of reducing property taxes through an increase in sales taxes. State Senator Lou Ann Linehan of Elkhorn is proposing Bill 388. It would lower property taxes by 40%. To pay for it, they would raise sales tax 1%, from 5.5% to 6.5%. The bill also includes eliminating some tax exemptions, meaning you'll have to pay taxes on items like soda and candy. Opponents like Open Sky Policy Institute says this is actually going to cost many Nebraskans more money, especially since renters who may not see the benefits of a property tax reduction. The bill has not passed the first round of voting yet.
Senator Steve Halloran chose to be absent at the State House during his censure hearing. The legislature's executive committee met yesterday to consider whether the Hastings lawmaker should be punished for his recent behavior while debating the banning of certain books. Halloran substituted a female colleague's name when reading from a book about rape. A vote on the censure motion is expected next week.
We may see a new prison in Lincoln now that the Lincoln-Lancaster County Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of a new location for the project. The location moved from I-80 and Adams to city-owned land east of 70th Street and McKelvey Road. This is just east of the city's landfill. Changes being made will include zoning and annexation. The modifications are waiting on approval from the City Council.
As part of a pending court settlement, the National Association of Realtors agreed to put in place a new rule later this year. Offers of compensation for realtors will be dropped from multiple listing services. If approved, the change is expected to go into effect in mid-July. This has raised concerns among home sellers and buyers. The executive vice president of the Realtors Association of Lincoln says there's nothing to worry about.
Well, I think, unfortunately, there's been this idea that this will somehow change home prices, and that's just not true. If today your home is worth $300,000, it's still going to be worth $300,000 when this settlement gets ratified in July or December or sometime next year. The actual cost of a home doesn't change.
For more information on the tentative agreement, visit nationalassociationsofrealtors.com.
Nebraska lawmakers passed a bill yesterday on a 45-0 vote to support low-income Nebraska mothers who are at risk for adverse birth outcomes. Lincoln Senator George Duncan sponsored LB 857. The bill creates the Nebraska Prenatal Plus program. This program will cover the cost of prenatal services for mothers defined as pregnant women eligible for Medicaid or the Children's Health Insurance Program. Prenatal services in the program include nutritional counseling, psychosocial counseling and supports, generational client education, health promotion, and other services. The bill also includes provisions of Lincoln Senator Carolyn Bosen's LB 933 that expands Nebraska Medicaid coverage for continuous glucose monitors to include people with gestational diabetes and those receiving any kind of insulin therapy.
Well, Omaha's Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium is named the best zoo in the nation for the second year in a row. Special recognitions include the Desert Dome winning the best exhibit, and the LG Simmons Wildlife Safari Park wins Best Safari Park on USA Today's annual 10 Best Reader's Choice Awards. This is the 5th time the Omaha Zoo has won the best exhibit and the 4th time to win the Wildlife Safari Park in 2023. 42% of people came from more than 60 miles away, and between 1 to 2 million visitors visit the zoo every year.
As with any industry, the zoo industry changes and evolves year to year. So what we're always going to do is hold ourselves to a very high standard of animal care. We hope to benefit the community as much as we can, and I would imagine we'll see lots of change, lots of growth with our zoo over the years, just like we have the past few years.
The Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium staff say they take pride in finding different ways to connect with and encourage people to be amazed and respectful to all animals from across the globe. Well, it's been pretty warm today, and I'm getting excited for spring, but meteorologist Dominic Ferraro has more. Dominic?
Thank you, Mackenzie. And spring is right. Looking ahead to your Easter forecast, starting the morning out, cloudy skies 45. However, we're going to warm up noon. Those clouds are still sticking around, but we've jumped up into the upper 50s. And by 3 p.m., we start to see that sunshine, still a stray cloud or two. 55, and we'll top out the day 60 degrees, partly cloudy, and winds out of the east, northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting to 20. And then we'll close the day out for any of you with some outdoor plans for your Easter weekend. Still sunny, partly cloudy skies, and 52 as we enter the evening hours. Other notable things this weekend: solar eclipse across most of the country. However, weather conditions aren't looking very favorable for this. Cloudy skies across Arkansas, a chance for thunderstorms across the Indianapolis area, some stray clouds up in the New England area, and down in Texas is probably your best chance at seeing the total solar eclipse, as we have sunny skies. However, a stray shower or thunderstorm or two is possible, and that could ruin your chances there. Looking at us here in Lincoln, we should expect about 80% totality, and that'll get started about 12:30 p.m. Unfortunately, though, cloudy skies here in Lincoln, and by the time we're seeing the peak of that solar eclipse just before 2 o'clock, we're talking thunderstorms and rain as we wrap things up around 3 p.m. However, that rain isn't going to stick around for too long. I'll have some more about our local weather for the week ahead after the break. Back to you.
Thank you, Dominic. Well, coming up after the break,
3 presidents joined together on the campaign trail.
an update on the recovery operation on the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore.
And ranchers are on the alert as the bird flu hits the Midwest. Stay with us.
Never stops. And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood. But imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
Okay, so how about this much?
I don't know.
Well, how about this much?
I don't know.
How about,
Actually, I don't know.
okay, maybe this much?
I don't know.
The very tip of your pencil, a fraction of a raindrop, 3 grains of salt. That's how much it takes for a dose of fentanyl to become lethal. Learn more at realdealonfentanyl.com.
Welcome back. Well, it seems like the winter is finally letting go of the capital city. Meteorologist Dominic Ferraro has more.
Thank you, Maddie. Well, you're certainly right. It certainly looks like spring here in the capital city. Mostly sunny skies right now, 69 degrees for your high, and wind, a rare calm. This is unusual for us. We've had a very windy week. However, I will take having some nicer weather right now. Looking ahead into tonight, partly cloudy skies. We'll drop down to 35 degrees, so definitely if you have any plans of going out this evening, grab a jacket with you. Winds will start to come out of the north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And as for your Saturday, partly cloudy skies, 58 for that high temperature, and winds out of the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Looking ahead to the next 18 hours, a low pressure system developing along the eastern side of the state right now. And what that's going to do, that's going to wrap some colder air around the top here and then south across the central part of the U.S. Got some rain chances in the Great Lakes area, and that'll cool us off about 10 degrees. However, this high pressure system right here over the Dakotas is going to keep us pretty cloud free at least through the rest of the weekend. Current satellite imagery, there's some clouds we had in the Lincoln area this morning that have worked their way east into Iowa, and some cloudiness down across the southern plains. Other than that, the rest of the country, southeast looking pretty clear. A few clouds up in the northeast, and the Pacific Northwest getting some rain today as well. Looking ahead to statewide temperatures. 52 degrees in Chadron, 58 in Scottsbluff. As we can see, some of that colder air working its way in. 45 in Valentine, eastern side of the state. 62 in Norfolk, 67 in Omaha, and 69 right here in Lincoln. The rest of your week here for the capital city, 58 tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies, 60 for your Easter. And then as we work into the overnight hours, we can see a chance of rain into Monday, where we see rain showers and thunderstorms, the high of 54 degrees. Mostly sunny then on Tuesday, 56 for that high. Low temperatures getting around near freezing. And then Wednesday, we get a little warmer. However, the wind comes back. Sunny and breezy on Wednesday and Thursday, 69 for that high temperature on Thursday, and Friday closing out the week. Partly cloudy skies and 68 for your high. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Dominic. Cattle in southern states have fallen ill recently due to possible bird flu. What could this mean for cattle in Nebraska? These cattle are the first known infections in the United States so far. The bird flu is also known as avian influenza. It is easily transmissible among birds and fatal to domestic poultry. However, the U.S. Department of Agriculture reports it is less lethal to cows. Bird flu has also been found at 2 dairy farms in Kansas and 1 in Texas after unpasteurized clinical samples of milk were collected from sick cattle. Texas Animal Health Commission officials confirmed the flu virus is in the type AH5N1 strain. This strain has been known for decades to cause outbreaks in birds and occasionally infect people. The USDA says bird flu has been reported in 48 different mammal species, and it was only a matter of time before it's made its way to our cattle.
Thursday, President Joe Biden was joined by former presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton at a fundraising event in New York City. The Biden campaign shared this video from the event at Radio Music Hall, showing moderator and late-night host Stephen Colbert and Biden poking fun at former President Trump for playing golf while Biden ramps up his campaign. In the clip, Colbert lists the campaign stops that Biden has made since the State of the Union address earlier this month, contrasting the busy schedule with Trump, who Colbert says has been spending more time working on his golf game. The Biden campaign announced the fundraiser brought in more than $25 million. That makes it the most successful single political fundraiser ever in terms of dollars raised. The Biden campaign excluded press and network cameras from the fundraiser and released only a selected clip.
Garbage piling up in landfills isn't just a smelly eyesore, it could also be a climate nightmare. In a new study in the journal Science, scientists measured methane emissions above more than 200 landfills. They found that average emissions were much higher than what has been reported. Scientists say accuracy can vary as surveyors tend to avoid areas that are unsafe to walk through. They believe this makes landfills a bigger part of the country's climate problem. They're estimated to make up about 20% of the Earth's methane emissions. Scientists are concerned that even as we transition to cleaner fuels, methane pollution could still be a problem due to the need for waste management.
Federal dollars are now flowing into Maryland for the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The government is expediting the $60 million payment, and as Amy Kiley reports, it's just a start.
We've got work to do.
Now, Maryland is getting $60 million to help with that work to recover from the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse. Officials say the federal dollars are for initial efforts like removing debris and laying the groundwork for reconstruction.
We're talking 3,000 to 4,000 tons of steel that's sitting on top of that ship.
Rebuilding will likely cost hundreds of millions of dollars. President Joe Biden vows the federal government will pay it all.
$60 million is helpful, but it's really a down payment.
Biden can draw funds from the Federal Highway Administration and the recent infrastructure law. In Congress, some hardline Republicans agree the bridge holds national importance.
We have a federal interest in ensuring that we've got interstate commerce.
But they're still fiscal conservatives.
We got to see what the deal is, and obviously I believe in paying for everything as you go.
Experts say insurance companies will be on the hook for more than $1 billion. They predict years of litigation involving maritime law older than the Titanic. One legal expert says businesses that rely on the port can't recover interruption losses from the ship.
This is not just about Maryland. This is about the nation's economy.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
As far as the overall damage and rebuilding costs, a spokesperson for the Insurance Formative Institute tells CNN that the bridge alone could cost more than $1.2 billion. The spokesperson also said that potential liability suits, medical costs for survivors, and cleanup costs would also be added.
And when we return, the Huskers spring football is getting ready to kick off.
A member of the Huskers volleyball coaching staff will be joining Team USA's under-21 team.
And get to know new athletic director Troy Dannon.
All after the break.
Three, two, one.
This is Nebraska Nightly.
If you're a student at UNL and have ever been interested in reporting or video production, Nebraska Nightly is your place.
Big Bob!
Here you can build creative skills no matter how much experience you have.
Our equipment is very, very high level here, and it's something that a lot of people wouldn't get to access until they're kind of in a professional workspace.
Talk to a UNL advisor about joining Nebraska Nightly.
Some of our favorite Husker sports are coming back for the spring. Sports director Trey Marler has more. Trey?
Troy Dannon is a winner. His teams won when he was an AD at Northern Iowa, and they won at Tulane too. If you think that he plans to stop that trend in Lincoln, well, you better think again.
It wasn't just about coming home. It was about coming home and winning.
Troy Dannon is no stranger to success. He oversaw 3 football conference championships while at Northern Iowa, and a New Year's Six Bowl victory while at Tulane. And the road to get Nebraska back to the top started the second he took the job.
They asked Troy, when do you want to start? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm starting today. I'm going to go to football practice. Get me to Lincoln. Then I want to be in Memphis to support Fred and the men. And then I want to come back and watch the softball and baseball games on Saturday. And then we're going to go to Corvallis and root on the women's team.
With the new addition of Dannon, many fans are raising questions about the future of the Memorial Stadium renovation. Although familiar with the topic, Dannon still wants to learn more before moving forward.
I don't know the fundamentals. It will be something that I have to get myself up to speed on very, very quickly. I think I have some meetings as early as Thursday, starting to try to learn a little bit about it.
The fans of Nebraska are some of the best in the country. Dannon made note of this in his opening press conference and added his own phrase when describing the passion of Husker Nation.
And I call that passion, Governor, a give a darn factor. I might use a different word for it from time to time, but give a darn factor. Nothing beats a high give a darn factor, and that give a darn factor exists here.
Troy Dannon. Dannon started his athletic director tenure at Northern Iowa, where he served from 2008 to 2015. He then served at Tulane from 2015 to 2023, where he would hire head football coach Willie Fritz, and Tulane would win the 2023 Cotton Bowl under his watch. After Tulane, he would spend 8 months at Washington, hiring new football coach Jed Fish before heading to Lincoln last week. Speaking of football, we got our first look at the 2024 Huskers yesterday morning, and all eyes were on the freshman 5-star quarterback, Dylan Raiola. As spring practice continues to ramp up, Matt Rule is looking at the older faces to lead the fresh ones.
We have a lot of guys who add to the culture, which makes culture. You know, everyone asks me about culture. I'm not the culture. Those guys are the culture. And so that they've brought the newcomers along really quickly.
It's exciting for us as an offense, you know, having new faces, new players with different type of, you know, talents and stuff like that. So it's been fun.
Here's what you need to know for the 2024 Husker spring game. It is set for Saturday, April 27th inside Memorial Stadium. Kickoff is at 11 a.m. Central. You can find ticket information at huskers.com. All UNL students can access tickets for free in their student account. In volleyball news, Nebraska assistant coach Jalen Reyes has been named to the Team USA's under-21 national team coaching staff. Reyes played an instrumental role in the Huskers' run to an NCAA championship appearance last season. Team USA will compete at the Norkeka Women's Continental Championship from June 23rd to July 1st in Toronto, Canada. To the spring sports, Nebraska softball hits the road for the first time in Big Ten play as they travel to Madison for a 3-game set with Wisconsin starting tonight at 5 Central. They're back in action Saturday and Sunday afternoon. Both first pitches are set for 1 o'clock Central Time. You can catch all the weekend action on Big Ten Plus. Tusker baseball, where they are looking to stay red hot as they open up Big Ten play versus Northwestern Evanston this weekend. They've started game one. Nebraska's up 2-1 in the top of the third. They'll be back in action the rest of the weekend at 1 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday. All games are on Big Ten Plus.
Well, I'm excited. New athletic director, new quarterback. I mean, we are ready.
A lot of new and a lot of good things ahead.
Yes.
The best is yet to come in Nebraska.
Exactly. I'm very hopeful.
One more thing, we will see Casey Tominaga in Nebraska basketball uniform one more time as he is shooting in the three-point contest at the men's Final Four in April. So good to see him in a Nebraska uniform one more time before he heads back to Japan.
That'll be good. That'll be good closure right there. Coming up after the break,
getting ready for the eclipse.
A day of talking film and AI.
And a preview of next week's First Friday events in Lincoln.
Of the 40 million tons of plastic waste generated in the U.S. in 2021, only 5% or 2 million tons was recycled. Make sure you do your part in keeping Anderson Hall clean. For more information on recycling statistics, visit epa.gov today.
Well, it's Easter weekend. As you can tell, Maddie and I are very excited. We got our grass green on, but entertainment reporter Finley Stroh has more details on what's going on this weekend. Finley?
Sticking around Lincoln this weekend, here are some activities that can help keep you busy. Starting at 5:30 today, our very own Anderson Hall will be hosting a Nintendo Switch Mario Kart tournament. The event is free and you can sign up on site until the start time. Winners will receive this year's Intramural Sports Championship t-shirt. The Life in Lincoln series is hosting yet another event, and this week's activity is a Lincoln Stars hockey game. It's open to UNL students only. Watch a live hockey game alongside other Husker students when the local Lincoln Stars take to the ice against the Sioux Falls Stampede. 100 tickets are set aside for UNL students at $6.36 per ticket, courtesy of Campus Nightlife and Slice. To reserve a ticket, go to go.unl.edu/hockey-tix. This Saturday from 9:30 a.m. to 7 p.m., the Johnny Carson Center for Emerging Media Arts and the UNL Grand Challenges Media and Information Literacy in the Age of Algorithms team are co-hosting a one-day intensive AI filming hackathon. Creatives will offer up visions of the future of truth, fiction, and media in the age of AI. The day will end with a dinner, guest speakers, and a film screening with awards. No experience is necessary and everyone is welcome. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Finley. In 1 week, downtown Lincoln kicks off the start of April with their First Friday celebration. Local businesses downtown will host special events for the community to show their support. 2 University of Nebraska-Lincoln a cappella groups will perform in the Great Hall of the Sheldon Art Museum on April 5th.
The all-male group, the Bathtub Dogs, and the all-treble group, Boots and Cats, will perform from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Admission is free for everyone interested. Nebraska Nightly will have more on the a cappella performances and the First Friday events in Lincoln next week.
Now, Dominic Ferraro has our final look at weather today. Dominic?
Thank you, Mackenzie. Looking ahead to the rest of your week, starting out Saturday, 58 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and then moving into your Easter Sunday, partly cloudy still, however, up into the lower 60s. Then we move into Sunday night, chance for rain, and into Monday morning. They say April showers brings May flowers, and we're not waiting there because Monday, April 1st, rain and thunderstorms possible with a high of 54 degrees.
So what is the weather then looking like for all the people doing the Easter egg hunts, you know? Hopefully not rain.
True.
Let's
It'll
hope.
look good. It'll look good. A little cloudy, but
Yeah,
nice and
I
warm,
hope
you know,
so,
not
you
30
know.
degrees, which we've seen this time of year, so I'll take it.
True. I miss those Easter egg hunts. Don't you guys?
I'm doing an Easter egg hunt. Are you guys not?
I had one the other
I thought it was
day.
still a thing.
I didn't
You're
get
still, we're all
invited
kids
to
at
any.
heart. We're all still kids at heart. We can do Easter egg hunts. There's nothing wrong with it.
Nebraska Nightly is a production of the University of Nebraska's College of Journalism and Mass Communications.
Thanks for tuning in. Have a happy Easter, and we'll see you next week on Nebraska Nightly.